Hey guys, what's going on? Billy here from Storm Trades. Let's do another trade recap. I'll bring you through my simple process of establishing a daily bias, how I read the high time frame market structure, and ultimately how I found my two executions on CL for Friday, May 16th AM trading session. All right, so let's start off. Again, this is going to sound repetitive. We do this every time. We always start off on the daily. I don't need the daily bias to enter successful trades, but I like to have it as it helps me build narrative, which in effect helps me build confidence in a particular trade, right? So looking at the daily here, I have some things that I've marked up. Again, when I look at the daily thing, it has to be clear. And typically I'm looking for a internal to external narrative or some sort of external to internal. External range liquidity consists of daily swing highs and swing lows, and internal range liquidity, as it pertains to the daily bias, is our fair value gaps. All right, so first things first, as you see every time, I always mark off the previous daily high and the previous daily low just to sort of take a look at where we are. I'll then draw a fib from the daily high to the daily low just to sort of see where we are at the time of analysis with regards to the midpoint of the previous daily candle. Now, once I have the previous daily high and the previous daily low marked out, I want to look at where is price currently located. Well, turns out price was currently delivering out of a daily internal range liquidity, so a daily bullish fair value gap. We expect price to move from internal to external. So where would our external range liquidity be here? Well, we actually have a daily swing high up here. So at this point, my daily bias is over. Okay. I am expecting higher prices. That's it. I'm now moving on to the hourly time frame to start to try and read um, order flow and market structure from the hourly. Okay. So pull the hourly chart up here. And the most important thing in trading is time. So when are you going to be trading? I trade CL from 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time to about 1:30 or 1 p.m. Depends on if I'm in a trade, I'll let it run. I'm not looking to take a trade at 1 p.m. Cash close on CL is actually 2 p.m. Anyway, so when I'm looking at the hourly, it's very similar to how I'm reading the daily. I'm looking for instead of looking for internal to external, what I'm really looking for is can I easily determine a change in the state of delivery, and therefore can I try and anticipate which draws and liquidities are likely to get run first? Okay, so the first thing I see here on the hourly time frame is I consider this a change in the state of delivery. Right, we have lower highs and lower lows all the way down to this time period where we make this distribution. This is a 1, 2, 3, 4 hourly candle move through this series of down close candles, right? So now I consider it, so at that point, if I have a clear swing point, what I want to do is run a fib on there and see if there's levels that line up with my Fibonacci, right? So typically we'll see price run to the 1 to 1.5 on, it looks like I have a bearish fair value gap there. And then also up here, what I'm looking at is look at some low resistance liquidity right around the -2 to -2.5. That's just underneath this daily swing high. So these are all levels I'm looking at. So the previous daily high also is in between the -1.5 to -1.2. Again, these are just to help me get an idea of where potential draws and liquidity could get run. Now, next thing I'll run here is also, I wanted to make note of this relatively equal high here, and I should just mark that as relatively equal high, right? So that's a very strong level of in terms of a draw and liquidity. Um, I marked out the low resistance liquidity up here. I don't expect price to move that far, but it's good to line up all of these draws on liquidity. I also will mark out this large unmitigated bearish fair value gap on the hourly. Oh, and just keep that in mind as prices moving throughout the session. And last but not least is where is price currently located? I don't take trades unless we've entered into some sort of an hourly POI. So an hourly POI for me would be any sort of imbalance. Well, we have a volume imbalance here that the 8 o'clock candle has come down and swept. So now I am locked and loaded, ready to go into my M5 time frame, and I will from there start hunting for setups. All right, so I'm down to the 5 minute. Just going to clean this up for a second here. All right. Now, what am I looking for on the execution time frame? I need some sort of a liquidity sweep. We had one down here, but I'm looking for one during the time that I'm trading, right? So this is 8:55. We're about to start hunting, and I'm going to be watching for a liquidity sweep of some sort. All right. So let's move price forward here. Don't have anything yet. Okay, here we have some displacement below. We have swept this M5 swing low. I'm just still watching price. Watching price. Now, I will take a note here that at this point, I'd be watching price, right? So this is what I'm watching for. But if we don't get displacement through this series of down close candles, then we don't have anything yet. You don't just take a trade based upon a swing low. So that could have been a fake out right there. Okay. Oh, watch, and the very next couple candles come down, and boom, we get a flush down into the volume imbalance. Right. We have now swept this swing low. Right, if you could take a look, we've had a number of drives down lower. And now what we're going to be looking for is a distribution or a displacement higher through the series of down close candles. Okay, so I will mark this out. If this gets closed through, that would be my change in state of delivery on the execution time frame. And what do we get on the very next candle? That's what we're looking for right there. That is displacement, right? So displacement through the breaker. Okay, so that's what we have here. And what I would start doing is I would start to look for I would start to look for trades here. Okay, and my most obvious draw on liquidity is this target. This was my first target, right? And I was just looking to make a trade to here at first, right? Now I'm going to get in on the candle close here where we've now established a unicorn, and this is where I entered. Stop loss at the bottom of the breaker. I took take profit actually was right here at the target one, and let's play. This moved quick, so there's trade number one. Now again, if we zoom out, we still have um, these higher draws on liquidity higher here. So I'm looking for ways to get involved. Once I feel like I'm on side, I'm looking for multiple ways to get involved if we haven't already taken all of the buy side liquidity. So this is what I'll show you what I was waiting for here. Now, this is another volume imbalance that I've noticed here. So I would be looking at that. I would also pay attention to this fair value gap here. But if price is extremely bullish, we may not ever get back into these uh, bullish fair value gaps. I'm watching price, and what I'm looking for is something just like this: a decisive a decisive move down that takes the internal range liquidity, and then I am marking out this as a order block. And if we get above this, I would look to get on sides at least until up into this. And on this particular trade, I actually went for 2R. And let's play price through. I have these if-then scenarios set up. At this candle close, I entered, stop at the bottom of that swing low, take profit at the midpoint of the hourly bearish fair value gap. We'll let price play out here, and boom. Two big wins on CL. It just goes to show you, once you're on sides, you can take a look at multiple entry criteria. As long as the high time frame POI has been engaged and you have draws on liquidity above you or below you, um, just pay attention to, I pay attention to the down close candles that sweep liquidity, and I'm always looking for displacement. All right. Um, and this was, well, I had the trade here on the Discord, but and thanks for watching.